you can try to implement this in your lives in whatever way it's relevant to you. And one of the things we have to also note is that everyone will have a calling from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Okay? This is very, very important to note. One of the reasons why people are not very successful, and some people are not very successful, and inshallah all of you are, in their relationships with Allah Azza wa Jalla, is because we look at the callings of other people in life and we try to mimic them. And we don't understand that Allah has given us our own callings. Allah has given us our own abilities. Allah has given us our own resources, and He wants us to apply those. If Allah wanted everyone to do the same thing, then He would have planned the world out. But He doesn't want everyone to do the same thing. He wants people to be different. He wants people to look different. He wants people to talk differently. He wants people to have different skills, right? And that's why a man came to Imam Malik, radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and when he came to Imam Malik, he wrote to Imam Malik, and in this letter he actually was scolding Malik. Imam Malik of Medina, he is scolding Malik. He says, you don't worship Allah enough. He's writing to Imam Malik, and he's saying, you, O Imam Malik, you don't worship Allah. This is one of the 4 Imams. People, even the sultans of that time didn't have the dare to speak to Imam Malik, except with fear in their hearts, because he was a person who had haybah, right? So this man is writing to Imam Malik, and he's saying, you don't worship Allah enough, or you don't do this, and he gave him some other criticisms. So Imam Malik wrote back to him with the demeanor of a scholar, and he digested these words of a jahil, and he said to him that Allah Azza wa Jal has distributed divine openings just as He has distributed rizq as well. Okay? So Allah has given some people rizq, not others as much. Just like He's distributed rizq, He's also distributed the divine openings, the doors that Allah opens for people in different ways. So some people, Allah has opened for them a door to, for example, do charity. That's a door for them. Other people, Allah has opened a door for ilm for them. That's their door. Other people, Allah has opened the door of ibadah for them. That is their door. Within ibadah, some people are able to fast. Even some of the Sahaba were not able to fast, by the way. Sometimes people feel so internally bad when they get to a point in life they can't fast. There were some Sahaba who were unable to fast. They were still human beings. So obviously they were going through all the same problems that we'd go through, right? So that was not something Allah had opened up for them. That's it. This was something they understood and they accepted. But there was other things they could do, and there was other people who couldn't do those things, right? Some people are able to wake up for tahajjud, other people can't even wake up for fajr. They try, they want to get up, and people, mock them and scold them that you're sleeping so much, you're lazy or this. Maybe the person has a physical illness that's not allowing him to wake up, and he wants to or she wants to wake up, but they can't, right? And they try, but Allah will know if they're trying and if they're just saying, right?
Yes.
But the point is that some people have different abilities and different resources and different skills. So Imam Malik told this man this. And he says, just as we have to be happy with the distribution of Allah Azza wa Jal when it comes to rizq, also we have to be happy and we have to be content with how Allah has distributed the openings as well. Okay? And he said, Malik, he literally said, some people Allah has opened the door of salah for them, others Allah hasn't opened that. Allah has opened the door of siyam, and so he gave the similar examples to the ones that I gave, right? And then he said, as for me, Allah has opened for me the door of ilm, and I'm happy with the door that Allah has opened for me, right? And as for you, Allah has opened for you the door of ibadah, and you should be happy with the door that Allah has opened for you. And we all should be happy with the doors that Allah has opened for us. And I say as well, we should all be happy with it. We should all be happy, and not just happy, we should try to make use of the doors that Allah Azza wa Jal has opened for us. You have before you opportunities and avenues of goodness that wallahi no one else can fill those shoes. And no one else in the world is going to be able to fulfill those particular responsibilities. And those you have been given that. And there's other people that have other doors. You're not going to be able to step in their shoes and fill those gaps in this world. That's why Allah has created us in different ways. And the reason why I say this is because Abu Abdurrahman as-Sulami knew his calling, and he knew what he was good at, and he stuck to it. And also you have to, by the way, be fair to yourself and admit your talents as well. Okay? So for example, someone is Someone is a good author, but perhaps he's not a good speaker. Someone is a great speaker, perhaps they're not a good author. Someone is a great in administrational work, but they cannot, for example, do public relations, right? So you have to first realize your strengths, and then capitalize on those strengths as well. Abu Abdurrahman, he was a great reciter of the Quran. He almost definitely had knowledge of other things as well. When you meet the Sahaba, you spend time with them, of course you learn the hadith. You learn, obviously, this hadith, he's one of the narrators of the hadith. But you don't see him in the narrations of hadith too much, in a few hadith, right? So, why didn't he become a narrator of a hadith? Because he realized his strength, and then he focused on that strength as well. So I also invite you to try to ponder yourself and realize your own strengths. Realize your weaknesses. Accept those strengths. Accept those weaknesses, and then start capitalizing on those strengths and using them, and being steadfast on serving the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal through those. Allahumma ameen. May Allah help us, inshallah. Allahumma ameen.